Hello Twin Flames, welcome to my channel and welcome to a daily energy read. Let's dive into the reading straight away. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. As you're watching this, there's a good chance that I'm already on my way to my trip in Guatemala, which of course you'll hear about once I'm back. But the truth is that I won't really have much capacity to be online or to spend time on readings while I'm there, and that's why I needed to prepare with these readings for you, not to leave you hanging without any content. So I pre-recorded some readings for you, and I definitely plan to share some content like pictures and videos of, you know, the flavor, the landscape. It's all gonna be incredible, I'm sure. But with all that said, let's start with an oracle message. I've got an archetype deck with me, so let's see what do we have for the twins. Then we'll go into tarot, and the last question is going to be around guidance and love, and that's why I have the love oracle cards. Okay, let's do this. What do the feminines need to know right now? The prayer. Very interesting. I haven't received this card, but the pastel colors to me are associated with Easter. That's just around the corner, and regardless of whether you're Christian, you recognize or celebrate Easter or not, it's still, you know, it's a mark, it's a holiday. And in my mind, because, you know, I have been brought up in that tradition, it does have a meaning. But let's see what they wanted us to know about the prayer here. The worship, the reverence, the homage. What is prayer? When are we in a state of prayer and when we are not? To whom or what do we pray? Archetypally, the practice of prayer has been with us since the dawn of time as a remedy for the omnipresent self-centered thinking that spins us toward illusion. Prayer leads us beyond our ego as we move from our little story to the big one. Some say we are in a state of prayer any time that we are not center of our own thoughts. Others say prayer is a natural result of gratitude. Perhaps it is simply surrender or service. Whatever prayer is for you, this card reminds us of its importance. Get quiet, low, humble, and soft. Bow and touch the ground as your heart lifts to the sky. Though it may be uncomfortable, it is time. Nothing else will do. And I would just say for myself, and you can even substitute prayer for meditation, I would say. I know they're not the same, but if that's something that triggers you as you're hearing this, because you're not that religious and prayer isn't a thing for you, it might be you're even opposing that tradition in general, right? Then find your mindful practice, you know, where you speak to the higher power that is relevant to you. And if you don't have that as a habit, as a general practice, it will feel uncomfortable at first, because it's those types of state of consciousness that our brain is not very comfortable with, that our brain is feeling like, ooh, like that something weird is happening. I'm insecure in this state. But with time, it'll get a lot easier for sure. Masculines, wow, your card is the River. Look at these colors. It's about color today somehow. Somehow I attracted these cards because, and this is number 34, by the way, for those who were wondering. Yeah, color is a big theme in my life these days. The stream, the flow, the current. There is a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It is forgiveness. You see, there's still like the connection to the ritual. And to me, it is even connected to the prayer directly. It is forgiveness embodied in physical form. Without asking anything in return, the river washes away what is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. Once we step in, we are no longer in control. The river carries us farther down the stream of transformation than we plan to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new and dreamlike vision. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind that you that stands within the river is the real you, full of deep emotion and potential. Nothing to hide, nothing to judge. May you drink in the sight of your true self. This is like this moment of revelation. And again, though it sounded more like, a ritual connected to religion, you don't need to see it that way, right? And it is true that so many different cultures and traditions have rituals connected with water. And I love rituals with water. Ideally, of course, to have a body of water to do that with. When I'm in Guatemala, I'm going to be doing some of that work with the lake that we're going to be staying by the lake. But if you live in the city and you don't have immediate access to the open body of water, you can still work with a bath, with a shower, even with like a food bath or something, like a bucket of water. You can still work with that. So be creative, read up some info on that and go for it, especially if you feel like it's time to cleanse, you're looking for that lighter energy to bring more of that into your life. But it's interesting because it's quite feminine in nature, river, water, and everything that we just read about. So masculines are definitely going to feel uncomfortable in these waters, pun unintended. All right, let's see what we have with tarot. Ace of Swords, bottom of the deck. Yeah, we just had full moon in Libra just a couple of days ago. So this is definitely the time when moments of truth are coming in, when some uncomfortable information is resurfaced, is about us or other people or world at large. And for a lot of us, something that used to be a conviction, something that we didn't question, we didn't really, that was part of our stable, sort of cemented foundation that we knew was always going to be true. And now there are questions around it, right? Now things are happening, events are occurring that make you doubt that as well. And that's super scary. But that's the power, to me, that's the power of the sword, It's the truth, it's the noble, if you think even about the sword itself. On the one hand, it's sign of, nobility and also certain skill. Most likely if a person has a sword, right? Then we assume that they know how to use it. And that's a skill that not everybody has. But on the other hand, it's also, it's a weapon. It's a sharp object that can bring a lot of pain. So there is this duality about it, in my mind at least. But it's about how you use it, right? It's also a tool that can be used in different ways. And here we have 10 of Pentacles for the clarifier. Yeah, we are starting to see our vision for abundance, success, and happiness more clearly. What does it involve? Who does it include? What is non-negotiable here for us? And what are the things that we can probably live without, or, we don't need to worry too much if they're going away from our life. Feminines, your energy right now is 4 of Swords. Clarified by 4 of Swords. Thank you. Time for healing and self-care and self-reflection. This is the time, and prayer, by the way, goes into this. Sometimes 5 of Pentacles is also associated with prayer, but this even more so. And you can see, this is a more, obviously, more traditional version of it. This is Rider-Waite theme. Although it's after tarot, but still, same story, same setting. And if you notice, they're actually in the church, right? There is this mosaic from the church setting. So prayers and meditations are actually part of the energy of this card. And I would say right now, especially if you feel like life is pushing you towards making decisions and taking a lot of action, go the opposite direction. Don't take that action. Not necessarily that action, but I mean do less, take less actions and think less thoughts. Go more into meditation and prayer and witness and be curious and be with your energy and be in the moment and enjoy your setting and surrounding, whatever it is. Or if you immediately understand that it's not very enjoyable, then put yourself into the environment that is enjoyable for you, where you can restore your energy, where you can find those important insights to carry on a different level. Big energies for the masculines, the Fool and the Sun. Wow. Both of these are very optimistic and enthusiastic, just generally in their nature, right? The difference is the Sun is more about healing and being in the moment, you know, just like enjoying life as it is. And I love that in this particular deck, it's also, there are two kids, you know, a girl and a boy. So to me, it also speaks towards the connection, in this case, twin flame connection, a little bit work with inner children actually, but more about this like playfulness, you know, and being able to enjoy each other's company without overthinking what does it mean, how do we label it, da 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 da. The Fool is somewhat that, but it has a different flavor of being on a journey. If Sun is more like the sun is shining right now, let's make the most out of it, out of this moment and this place where we are. The Fool is more of a nomad, is more of a traveler, right? It's about the journey. You know, I want to learn, I want to see the world, I want to explore, right? And it is about like continuing the path. But like I said, like first, both of them are major arcana, so that means that the masculines are really being guided through certain experiences at this time that are supposed to open up their mind to some new experiences, see their current life differently, and see the destination or the path different. But yeah, it's like an initiation ritual. That's what I'm hearing actually. And maybe that's why that river was so relevant, you know, where it's like, hey, before you're conquering new horizons or even building new relationships, there's something you need to know. And then once you learn that information, once it settles in you, it integrates, then you can go on and build and create and negotiate and whatever, connect, commit, etc. Otherwise, if you don't use that information, it's just going to be another karmic cycle that you're going to repeat, and it's not going to be the last one for those stories. Additional question for today is Four of Cups clarified by 10 of Swords. Yeah, very interesting, because to me this is the healing journey, like at the early stages, I would say. So something that happened recently, or that you know that you haven't been able to heal from because it's not that simple, and you feel like you're doing your best and you're making effort to be like to support yourself, to resolve, to have that closure, but from time to time that story comes back around, you know. So this is what we're talking about here. What do the feminists need to know about this? Knight of Wands and the Strengths, very fiery energy. And yeah, this is, first of all, this is something that makes you stronger. I know it's a little cheesy, but this is what it is. That's what I'm hearing with these cards. And it's also for you to be able to recognize different nuances in the palette of life, you know, in that topic in particular that you're looking at. Let's say it was an unhappy relationship. Your heart was broken and you cannot get over it, right? You're still not healed and you get triggered on that topic from time to time. So this is for you to see how much more nuance is in the relationship or in how you communicate with each other, right? And maybe some things that you didn't even think were important before you actually experienced this event. Now you understand how important it is, right? Or maybe it opens up a whole new story of how you didn't have this kind of experience as a child, for example, and communicating in a family setting, right? And you were never taught certain skills, good habits, you know, even maybe good manners on how to do this properly, right? And now you're just learning. But it is about being, again, this is fiery energy, so it's about being excited and just going with it, all right? Like this is like that investigator spirit of like, oh, this is interesting. It's bothering me, but that's why it's interesting, and I'm gonna go deeper, and I'm gonna go look it in the face. And that's the strength, that's the courage that you're showing. But I would say a lot of the personal growth path or spiritual path, whichever way you want to call it, is a lot about facing those uncomfortable feelings, situations, emotions, and working with them. Because if you just, like, if your coping mechanism is usually avoid or escape, you're not gonna move forward very far. You know, it's not really gonna help you grow, right? It may still get you through things, or at least for a while, you know, until the next trigger comes in. But it's not really something that will help you ascend in your energy, in your consciousness, and go into different level of quality of life. What do the masculines need to know about it? Ta-da! Lovers and Six of Wands. I love this so much. This is like victory in love. Victory in love will feel so much different, and like generally finding your person and being together will feel so much different once you've experienced that contrast of pain and suffering and things not to say and not to do, right? And what broke your heart, or maybe what you did wrong, because that's another side of it too, that maybe you've wronged the other person and now you're struggling because you know, and you know, in a lot of cases there is no easy way to reconcile, either because there is some things that you just can't come back from, or simply because you don't have contact with that person anymore, right? And it lives with you, and you have that remorse now that you realize how bad it was. It's like, oh my God, what have I done? And how do I find that, you know, salvation and that peace? But it is a journey. It's still painful. That's what we see here. But there is a much deeper meaning of it. Like, there's something beautiful that's supposed to come out of this experience, and why you needed to see that firsthand, straight into your heart, very vividly, you know, very, you know, a very visceral level. You'll learn from it, you'll heal from it, and that's what's going to attract your perfect partner. That's what's going to bring you into union. Okay, guidance for love or in love for divine feminines watching. So just a reminder that this could be around your DM, it could be around the soulmate or karmic partner that you're with, or even if you're single, maybe you're not in contact with your twin flame. This is guidance in love in general, because it's valid for any person, you know. It's not about a specific person really, but it is guidance to, you know, with some ideas of what to do, what to pay attention to at this time, to either attract your love or to improve your relationship, your love relationship. What do feminists need to know right now? We got healthy choices. Nice. Finally, we used to have the card that was about like stabbing in the back a lot. A girl with a snake, and I was like, oh, come on. Like, I know we like to have good cards, and it's not really fair to expect that, but I mean, those were like, you know, almost the same ones every time. And talking, okay. Conversation, messages, yeah, and making healthy choices. Self-love, self-care, being happier. And there's even a meditation pose. So that's the Four of Swords energy. And this again brings me full circle into making my point. Well, self-care, self-love practices, they actually help you attract love on the outside as well, right? So don't underestimate it, and don't dismiss those things that we talked about at the beginning with that Four of Swords energy, right? And that's part of making healthier choices, and you know better what that means for you. Maybe for you, making healthier choices actually includes eating healthier, or saying no to some suggestions from friends that you don't want to go for, right? Or setting your boundaries, or moving more in your life, like physical movement, right? Like whatever it is, it's very important to invest in that right now and pay attention to it, right? And then communication, I feel like it's like we are obviously in this newer wave of communication because Mercury is direct now, and there's still a bit of a shadow period, but there is this renewal and new enthusiasm around building relationships, around getting together and communicating on different levels, right? So make use of that, but make sure that you're choosing it because you feel like this is something, you know, that's gonna make you happy, that's gonna bring you joy, something that you are leaning towards because it's not out of necessity, but like a fun exploration kind of exercise. That's what I mean. Okay, for the masculines, what do masculines need to know? Messages in love. All right. Girl was a snake. That's what I was talking about. Now the masculines got it. Come on. It's the empath and narcissist paradigm. And hand of cards. Take a chance. Risk. Gambling. Wow. Masculines have taken some risk. Oh my God. Masculines, I would say immediately here, either directly with gambling and taking unnecessary risk, or with people who might be, you know, having an agenda that they don't necessarily show you, toxic people. Boundaries are key, right? And you can do self-checks to yourself. Why are you in this conversation, in this experience right now, in this event? What is it giving you? And especially if you feel like it's actually unhealthy, like it's not, and I don't mean intuitive feeling, like you know that this is unhealthy for you, you don't feel good right now, right? Like start being curious and asking yourself that. If it's too heavy, get out of that situation first and foremost, right? Because it might be tempting. Our ego might be taking us there, especially if you're a thrill seeker, you know, like adrenaline junkie, right? These experiences could be attractive, even if you know deep down that there is a lot of risk behind it, or it may end badly for you actually, right? But, you know, once you get yourself to safety, then start exploring. Why are you being drawn to this kind of people or to this kind of experiences, right? And there's nothing wrong with healthy risk, and actually even with these cards, like the Fool actually involves taking some risk. Essentially, the Fool is starting a journey where they don't know the destination, where they don't have much resources, you know? It's kind of like open-mindedness level 100, right? So there's nothing wrong with taking some risk and being open-minded. But there is a difference between that and putting yourself in dangerous situations, even if it's danger around your emotional health. But I can assure you that if there is danger in terms of emotional health, it will manifest into your physical health and into your practical life, one way or another, right? That's how energy works, the vibration, the frequency. You can call it karma, but essentially it has its consequences. So be careful with your explorations, I'll put it that way. Thank you so much for being with me, guys. Sorry about the longer reading, but the messages needed to come out, so there you go. I love you all, and until next time, bye.